President Bola Tinubu today decorates new service chiefs, and he has told them that there will be results and performance from them. In the assembly today, as 5 lawmakers have now jumped ship across carpeted to the APC. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I am Sean Kimale right here in Abuja, bringing to you all of your major political stories as you have them. So where do we begin? Let's begin from the National Assembly, and we'll be bringing you up to speed with what is happening as far as the numbers of the lawmakers is concerned. So today we saw the defection lawmakers from Enugu State. In that defection, we saw the Enugu State Governor Peter Adebayo, attending in person, looking at how the lawmakers left or dumped the People's Democratic Party and now moved into the APC.
Is in respect of notification of defection from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the All Progressive Congress, APC. His message reads as follows. And my distinguished colleagues, of my decision to resign my membership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and to join the All Progressive Congress, APC. This decision became necessary due to the prolonged internal crisis and unresolved leadership disputes within the PDP at both the national and state levels, which have adversely affected the cohesion and functionality of the party, especially in Enugu State.
The moment when their defections was announced. Now, I'll take you to witness some of the other stories that we're monitoring for you across the land. But when we return, another chaos happened today in the National Assembly. I will bring you all the sound bites of what really happened today. Stick around. We'll be right back after a political roundup stories.
The Senate has confirmed Bernard Doro as the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria following a brief screening session that lasted less than 30 minutes. Doro, who becomes the third ministerial nominee from Plateau State, used the opportunity to outline his vision for fostering an inclusive humanitarian ecosystem in the country. He promised to create a humanitarian ecosystem that is inclusive, guided by impartiality and independence. Meanwhile, the Forum of State Chairman of the Social Democratic Party, SDP Nigeria, has called for the immediate constitution to strengthen internal checks and promote transparent collective leadership within the party. The call was made by the chairman of the SDP State Chairman's Forum, Mr. Femi Olani, at the party's National Secretariat in Abuja, Nigeria's capital. Mr. Olani stated that the forum has also requested the distribution of the white paper on the disciplinary actions and findings concerning Shehu Gabam and others. The Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, Lawrence Orujapo, has sued the State House and others over alleged plots to impeach him in an originating the members of the Bayelsa Democratic Party, PDP. Lastly, the European Union support to democratic governance in Nigeria has proposed a total of 66 actionable recommendations covering electoral offences, justice systems on the 2025 Anambra State off-cycle governorship election. Speaking during the public presentation of the Anambra governorship pre-election report in Abuja, the executive director of the International Press Center, Mr. Larry Arungundade, says the report covers a period between June and September of a rigorous mixed methods approach.
Let me take you to the National Assembly again, where we saw some at the National Assembly as officials of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, staged a walkout on the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education. The registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede, had sent a director, Mr. Mufuta Bello, to represent him. Mr. Bello insisted that journalists vacate the room, claiming the documents he was to present to them contained sensitive information. However, the committee refused, maintaining that the JAMB representative staged a walkout afterward, leaving committee members stunned. Take a listen to how this all.
We don't require the presence of pressmen. Kindly give us the benefit of that and you should excuse us, please. Mr. Chairman, observation. You don't have that right. If you have such, you will just whisper to the chairman, or you will whisper to the clerk to tell the chairman. You don't dictate for us when you are here. It's like you're dictating for us. You'll be arrested. Useless man. You know your job. Whatever you do, you have.
That was how he went down with officials of JAMB at the National Assembly. Let me take you to the presidential villa where we've seen promotion, decoration of the new service chief, where the President Bola Tinubu conducted that exercise with the Vice President and some other top senior government officials present at the presidential villa. The short ceremony took place at the council chamber, where the new Chief of Defense Staff, formerly Lieutenant General Olufemi Oloyede, is now being decorated with the new rank of a general. The new Chief of Army Staff, formerly Major General Wahidi Shaibu, is now being decorated with the rank of Lieutenant General. The Chief of Naval Staff, formerly Rear Admiral Idi Abbas, is now being decorated as Vice Admiral, while the Chief of Air Staff, formerly Air Vice Marshal Kevin Naneke, is now being decorated with the rank of Air Marshal. The Chief of Defense Intelligence, formerly Major General Emmanuel Undedeye, who was retained by the President, was now elevated to the rank of Lieutenant General. The President, while speaking at that event, had asked the new service chief to take their duties seriously and be patriotic. And he's also asked them that there won't be no excuses, but they must now perform and deliver to the nation. Take a listen to President Bola Tinubu.
I charge you, as the head of our nation's armed forces, to carry out your duties with patriotic zeal Nigerians expect result, and not excuses. We are in a hurry to celebrate peace. I charge you also to be innovative, preemptive, and courageous. Let's stay ahead of those who seek to threaten our peace, freedom, and stability. Let us deploy technology where necessary. We cannot allow the crisis that began in year 2009 to persist any longer. It is time to defeat the enemies. I wish you the best. I advise you to work together as a team, compare notes, exchange your information effectively and follow up proactively. Work with other security agencies and defeat this enemy once and for all. We need to clean them up, clear them out. I promise to provide all support you need to get the job done.
All right, then. President Bola Tinubu charging the new service chiefs on what is needed right now. He's giving them the order as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to go after the enemy and clear them out. He said Nigeria is in a hurry to rejoice about its peace. Now, let's speak about this and get some perspective. I'm being joined by one man who thought that he could do better than President Bola Tinubu. He campaigned and he said he's better off and he has better ideas. But then now, he lost that election, but now let's get his views about the state of things in the country. He's the presidential candidate of the Social Democratic Party. Prince Adebayo is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, Prince Adebayo, for joining us tonight on the program.
It's a pleasure, Sean. Good to see you. God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria, as always. What the president told those service chiefs today, go after them, cut them off, reduce them, make us happy. We need peace in this country. No more excuses. It looks like a charge that you hear from a leader who wants a result. Is that the kind of thing that you were expecting?
Yes, he's commander-in-chief. He's the #1 warrior for the country. And I know, of course, today is a ceremonial day, and the kind of charge is a general charge. I believe that in subsequent operational meetings, he will give operational orders to achieve it. But it's clear, Nigerian civil war lasted only 3 years. So there is no reason why we should be having almost 20 years, 18 years of, or 17 years of Boko Haram and all these insurgencies. And imagine if someone joined the army in 2009, the person would be a general now. And we haven't solved that problem. So it's a correct charge to give. And he needs to direct the armed forces properly. And I'm happy he says there should be no excuses, because every excuse will land on his own table, because the buck stops with him as the commander-in-chief. He's the one appointed the service chiefs. He's the one directing them. He's the one who they report to. And he has responsibility now to make sure that this insurgency, banditry, and general state of insecurity do not survive his administration. And he has less than 2 years to make this happen.
Do you think that we're living in a perilous time?
We've always lived in perilous times. The additional peril we have is poor governance. Imagine if the civil war happened under this present kind of leadership. It would be like Congo. So it is the moment that makes the man.
And I'm asking that question, Prince, with respect. I mean, today the first story came from Premium Times. And the military denied that nothing happened. A few days later, there was a reshuffling of the service chiefs. Now, the Premium Times is now putting names, title of officers they claim are involved in the alleged coup out there. And that's the reason why I was asking if you were living in perilous time. We thought that nothing like that can ever happen in our country. And many years of some of us who saw military rule, those who paid the ultimate price, those who fled the country, those who lost a lot because of the military junta. And now we're hearing this kind of news. And that's the question, really.
Well, you see, first, democracy is fragile. Whether you have the extreme thwarting of it by elements of the military creating a junta and coming to harass the rest of the country, or they don't want free and fair election, they don't want an open space, and they clamp down on citizens. Everywhere in the world, democracy is fragile and is to be protected. And the best insurance against disturbance, disruption, military coup, breakdown of law and order is good governance. And the lesson to learn from this, while I am waiting for the military and the civilian authorities in government to come up with a clear accountability of what happened and what is happening. But what I know for sure is that all of us have a duty to know that this civilian system, we need to sustain it, and it is fragile. And the fact that you are in government doesn't mean that you are safe from being upset. Just the way there is insecurity of lives and property for Nigerians, there may soon be insecurity of tenure for the political class. So if the lesson to learn from that is that we will now be a little more sensitive to the will of the people, we'll be more responsive to the needs of the people, and we will take care of our people to make them contented. But I don't think that there is any justification whatsoever. I'm a #1 critic of the bad performances of the government and their inability to meet the aspirations of Nigerians. But I can tell you, having lived under the military, I was born under Gawan's administration, and I've gone through military in my adult life, and I was a major activist against military rule. I can tell you, nothing good can come out of military rule. So it is not an option for us.
Why do you think that anybody in the military might be attracted to think that any Nigerian will embrace or hug the concept of a coup d'etat?
Well, you see, everybody is a product of their history. Many may not be too young, whether in uniform or outside uniform. They may be too young to understand. If someone was 20 years old in 1999, he will be 46 years old now. And he might be a major, a colonel, or whatever. If he was 10 years old, he will probably be a lieutenant or becoming a captain now. So that, I don't know, but because I don't want to speculate, I know that a government will not hide a coup d'etat. There may be tactical or other security reasons why the government is quiet about it. They may be doing investigation of it, and when they are through, they will now come up with it. But on a general concept, on a general principle, people may forget what the history with military government was. People might be thinking that because the political class has abandoned the people, practically, and are living ostentatiously in front of the people, and they have total disregard for the will of the people, that the people will be angry and they will take any alternative. So, but it doesn't work that way, because that was the mistake of the 5 majors when they had their coup. The first day, everybody was rejoicing in Kaduna and welcoming Nzeogu and all of that. But a week later, people started having a buyer's remorse, and in a matter of months, we were already having genocide and working towards civil war. So I don't think anyone should come and upset the civilian system, and I take it upon myself to warn Nigerians that even though we criticize the government, we have an option for you. If you don't like the government of the day, as I don't like the government of the day, go to the ballot box, vote for another person, vote them out. And if they make voting themselves out more difficult, then we become more of advocates, we come on and push for electoral reform, but don't join anybody in the notion that a few people gang up and they are going to take over the government. You're going to have bloodshed.
Are you thinking that this government is not doing well?
I'm not thinking. I know. The evidence shows that they're not doing well.
But the economy seems to be, there are some positives in the indices of the economy.
I understand the economy has been very good to journalists, but you see, when you look at
journalists,
I mean, I assume that's why you're talking like that, because if you are
at the indices, let's look at the numbers. I have a feeling that you have a good grasp of economy.
Yes.
Are the indices not good? The macroeconomic index is not looking good.
There are 2 things.
Yeah.
In the academy of economics,
yeah,
we look at numbers, trends, indicators. In the real life, people look at their lived experience. And politics is based on lived experience.
The macroeconomic
the
side
actual
of things,
feeling
the reality
of the people.
Yeah.
Yes, because anything that moves, for example, if you grow your GDP from 3% to 4.5%, right from World Bank to anybody, to any university, will clap for you. But 2 things may happen. The lived experience of the people may not see it. There may also be lag. There's what's called data lag. So you have a change that has not percolated to the people. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen is that the people will feel that nothing has improved in their situation. And in the case of Nigeria, there are low-hanging fruits there are measures that the government can take to make life more meaningful to the people. There is a way they can repurpose and redirect their budget to make sure that critical intercessions in the lives of the people, which has to do with the primary needs of the people, food, clothing, shelter, healthcare, education, and transportation, that you deal with all these issues. If you don't deal with them, if people's house rents go up, so imagine a particular person who goes home, finds a letter from his landlord saying your rent has increased, gets a letter from the school that the school fees for his children has increased, gets a note from the wife that the amount you gave me last month for food is not enough now, takes the child to the hospital, finds out that he has to pay more money, and on his way to the hospital, he has to go and buy fuel. The fuel is higher than before, or he takes public transport, he pays more. There is no amount of economics you can tell the person. He's lived experience every juncture of his life.
But is this Tinubu's problem or Tinubu's fault? That those who said Tinubu and his government walked into a problem, already a trap, an economic trap. And the man is taking some very hard decision and to change the narrative, a tough decision that other leaders, and that's the narrative that this government has painted to Nigeria, to say, look, we have walked into a terrible, terrible, terrible situation. If we do not work things around, we're going to head for a disaster. And now the man has done this, and you're still not satisfied that he's taking a tough decision and it's going to take a bit of a time for things to get better.
You see, first, I am running for president now. How can I complain in 2027 that Tinubu gave me a bad deal? I'm seeing it. I know what I'm working towards. He was part of the APC. You cannot count the APC leaders. After Buhari, you have to mention his name.
But if things are not going the way you think it should, does it make Tinubu a bad president?
No. What it means is that he has bad results. He may be a good... I look at him, the way he talks, the way I don't know him too well, the way he talks, the way he behaves, looks like a good person. But we are not in shortage of good people in government. It's the good result we don't have. So you can't send your child to school and the child comes with F9 parallel. And they say, oh, the teacher is a great teacher, he can teach well.
So is this government a failure?
With capital F, I think so. They're failure in many things. Even for things they said. You said renew hope. They can't even pay the renewal fee of the hope. The hope expired. So you cannot leave people stranded. There are, from what I see, even with the fiscal situation that they've created, if they had used 1/3 of the savings to deal with the emergency situation, then they can now follow the long-term trajectory. Because in economics, just like in history, we have periodization. In economics, you have time scale. You have the immediate, you have the medium term, the immediate is short term, you have the medium term, you have the long term. When I'm analyzing the short term, you cannot be telling me about the long term. It's like a student who is doing continuous assessment, and assessment is 20%, and he scores 3 out of 20. And he said, don't worry, sir, during the exam, I'm going to make it up.
So you're painting a picture as though this, because there is a lot of confidence that this government and this president and this party will win by wide margin in 2027, and they are confident that things will get better. But what you are painting is that this government and this president is not even electable in 2027. That's the kind of painting that you are, the narrative. But you see people defecting the APC, and they say that it's because the president is doing well and they want to support him. That's why they are going there. Okay. But you are painting a different picture. Is that fair?
Okay. The way I'm interacting with you as your guest, it's not the way the audience watching the TV, watching us on TV, going to interact. It's not the same way the guy who supplies camera to you. So everybody has a way of interacting with the government. If you are a government contractor, if you are part of the government, if you are an appointee of the government, if you are in the political party and you are the leadership, you have a way to assess the government. But are we going to shut out the way ordinary Nigerians assess the government? I don't speak for the governors, because the governors are swimming in money, though they are dry of ideas. And they are going to work with the president because the president is cooperating with them. He's allowing them to go on with their fiscal rascality. He's allowing them to be floating around and not doing, because he is looking at them as political assets. He has his right. But the ordinary person who has to feed his family, a graduate who needs a job, or those who have a job and they need living wages, people who are confronted with healthcare, a family that has children in school, and you are giving them student loan, and the ASU is on strike. So the loan, they are owing the government money, and then the education has stopped. So when you look at all of that, I am not saying, for example, that people who are enjoying the government, the minority, have no right to praise the government, because that's the perspective that they see. But I represent the Social Democratic Party, a party of common men, ordinary people, and I have to speak for them. And the ordinary man is not interested in how many governors cross to your side. He's interested in, can he get a job? Can he be safe? So if you, in spite of all of these problems, you still get captured on the road. First, the roads are bad. There's bad road everywhere, except you haven't traveled anywhere. There are bad roads. Now, you have bad roads, and then you are kidnapped on the road. You have to go and sell your property to pay the kidnapper. Despite the BVN, NIN, and all sorts of things that we've had, kidnappers are still collecting money, including from a staff of mine only yesterday. So this lived experience of people is what we are bringing, and it's a good balance, because those who are on the government side, those who are benefiting from it, those who are on the academic perspective of it, they have to balance their experience with the feedback I'm giving on behalf of the people.
Quickly, I'd like us to wrap up on this note. So the government now says it's going to impose a 15% import duty on refined petroleum products. And there are those who are in the local market applauding it, that these will help the local market. Of course, some of the statistics reads that that Nigeria is still not able to meet, it's meeting just about less than 40% of domestic needs. Between August 2024 and October this year, Nigeria imported roughly 13 billion liters of gasoline, about 64% of its needs.
They are full of contradictions. Number one, we have 2 refineries in Port Harcourt, built, and we're spending so much money on it. We have 1 refinery in Warri, where we built it and we are spending a lot of money on it. We have in Kaduna, we built it and we're spending a lot of money on it. They haven't made these refineries to work. So that's number one question before you start to put tariff on who. And if you put 15% tariff on imported petrol, who is going to pay for it? It's going to be the person who buys the petrol at the fueling station. So what are you doing? You are the reason why we cannot meet our domestic consumption. The president is the Minister of Petroleum. What kind of chaotic system is this?
But there are those who think that this decision, although it might not be immediate in action in terms of how practical it will be, but there are those who say this is the right decision to take to encourage local production.
No, President Tinubu is a clever tax collector. He wants to collect tax from you for everything, including oxygen tax, very soon if you're not careful.
Because, you mean the air we breathe in?
Yes, because
Tinubu will tax the air.
Just give him time. He's going to get there.
Is that even fair to say that the
for example, we gave you refineries to manage. You appointed yourself Minister of Petroleum. We spent billions on turnaround maintenance. You are not making refineries to work. You are the reason why we are importing. Now, because you are importing, you went from, I'm not paying subsidy. Okay, now we are net zero. Nobody pays subsidy. You now want to surcharge me for your own inefficiency. Am I the reason why refineries are not working?
So that decision is a poor one.
It is an anti-people decision, and it's a trend in the new Tinubu. Tinubu that used to be in SDP, that was following Abiola everywhere, doing Hope 93. It practically has changed to the side of the money people. They are looking, they see you as a customer. They don't see you as a citizen. They look at you and looking for everything to collect money from you. Right. If you have twins in your house, if you have twins and triplets in your house, Tinubu is going to think of twins tax, multiple child birth tax. So he's just thinking on how to collect more money for the washers. It is wrong. What he needs to do is to call Anakin Lokobiri and call the Ojulari and say, I want those refineries to work.
All right.
I'll give you 6 months, and I want to reduce fuel importation to 0. Now, there's a private refinery that's going to almost 1.4 billion barrels. Why are they going to 1.4 billion barrels from 650,000 barrels a day, Dangote? It's because they see that there's a market for what they are producing. What are the other smaller refineries that are coming up? What are the what are we doing with the modular one?
All right.
You cannot crush the people because you want to make money. No, I don't agree with that at all.
Prince Adebayo was the presidential candidate of the SDP in the 2023 election. Thank you so much for being on the program tonight.
Thank you, and God bless Nigeria.
God bless Nigeria. We'll take a break, everyone. But there's one man and a political party who is alleging that there is already vote buying going on in Anambra State. And they have petitioned the IG, petitioned INEC. We'll be hearing them out tonight. How is Soludo buying votes? That's the allegation. We'll be finding out after this break, everyone. Join us again. For staying with us. The election in Anambra State, slated for the 8th of November 2025, is getting a lot of attention. This time around, there are those in the opposition in the state who are alleging that there are some malpractices going on. There is a political party, the Young People's Party, the YPP, who have come out to say there is vote buying going on. And the allegation is against Governor Charles Soludo, the candidate of APGA and the governor of Anambra State. The YPP, in a petition raised to the Independent National Electoral Commission and the IGP, stating that there is a blatant and open display of gift to the fact that the government has engaged in an act of voter inducement during the last election by paying each ward a sum of 500,000 naira and promising to increase it to 1 million naira and 10 million naira for every ward and LGA respectively. That it's able to deliver the most votes for APGA in the forthcoming Anambra State governorship election. And they are saying that this is a blatant and direct violation of the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022, Section 121, Sub 1. Let's speak with the man who signed up on that, who is the national chairman of the Young Progressives Party, YPP, Bishop Amakiri, who is live for us here in our studio. Thanks so much, Mr. Amakiri, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank God you've just corrected yourself. I don't know why people always like calling us Young People's Party.
Yeah. Young Progressives Party.
Yes,
yeah. One needs to be able to be in the right frame of mind to be able to carry along all of these acronyms and so just.
But we've been around, for quite.
You've tried. So you've had a senator. You've had.
We've won virtually almost all the elections, apart from governorship and president.
Let's go.
We've won all the elections.
Yeah. The one that you are particular, because there are those who will say you should focus on campaign. But now you are going after Chukwuma Soludo, and you are alleging that there is engaged in vote buying.
No, you see, when matters like this that are national issues, it doesn't matter who is the person involved. We just need to deal with the issues squarely the way it's supposed to be dealt with. And the reason why we are raising an eyebrow is the fact that if it were to be the other side of the coin, let's say, for example, if it were to be the candidate of Young Progressives Party that has made such utterances, okay, maybe by now it will have been a different ball game. But you see, Sean, if we don't deal with these issues squarely, maybe that is the reason why I think this immunity that these governors enjoy is the reason why most of them, they run amok. Nobody can control them. They are like demigods in their states, right? Because I don't see the reason why we cannot even just for us to comply or to obey the laws of the land. You have just read out something there, what the Electoral Act says. Section 121, 1, A, B, C, D, down to it. It was explicit there.
So
now,
Your definition and the allegation against Governor Soludo.
Yeah.
You made reference to the last election.
Yeah, that's the by-election.
Yeah.
The by-election.
Yeah, but what about, because if you are alleging vote buying ahead of this election, you are raising...
I'm not alleging, it's what he said in the public, in a campaign. It's what he said. He has mentioned that wards, you can imagine you have 326 wards in Anambra. And then he's saying any ward that gets the highest vote, that win, right, is going to get a 1 million naira. Sum that 1 million times 326. That gives you 226 million, from the taxpayers' money. You are already keeping that money to do. And he's saying local government, we have 21 local governments in Anambra State. He's saying any local government that also, gets the highest number of votes will be given 5 million. Now, times 5 times 21, it will give you 105 million. You put all together, it's giving close to almost 500 million. So that's why I say, you see, I think...
What purpose did he say this money is for?
For electoral inducement.
Did he say it's electoral inducement? Did he mention the purpose? Is it for development?
Look, you a man, let me tell you, if you are a governor in a state and you have performed immensely well, right? You don't need to make such utterances. Let the statistics speak for you, or let the record.
Has he done it?
If he has done what?
Has he done it? You are alleging that he's involved in vote buying.
The fact that he even mentioned that, you are already preparing somebody. It's like me coming to us telling you that Shehu, tomorrow be prepared. I'm going to fight you. Let us even assume that I'm not going to fight. I've put some fear in you.
So, and you are
when we say electoral inducement
in your petition, Bishop Bamakri, you're quoting section 121, sub 1 of the Electoral Act, which reads, according to what you quoted here, says, quote, a person who directly or indirectly by himself or by any other person on his behalf corruptly makes any gift, loan, offer, promise, procurement, or agreement to or for any person in order to induce such person to procure or to endeavor to procure the return of any candidate at any election, commits an offense and is liable on conviction to a fine,
500
on imprisonment, or both.
Yes.
Furthermore, section 1212 says a voter who accepts or takes such inducement also commits an offense and is liable to a fine or imprisonment.
Absolutely. So you see, that's why now we are worried about this, because we feel that elections should no more longer be a thing of procurement, where people rig election into offices. This is a man who promised a Taiwan for Anambra. This is a man who has promised a Dubai for Anambra. All in this. Go to Anambra today. Where is the Taiwan that he has promised? That's why I say, Sean, I will even use this opportunity. I think I will be proposing, suggesting to the National Assembly, if we can create a GCC commission, Governance Caretaker Commission, where we can have such a commission in the whole 36 states, where the incumbent governors should resign from office 1 month before election, so that they will not have that immunity, okay? And then you set up a caretaker commission, governance commission, where somebody, because governance is a continuous, somebody has to be there, to cover the loophole. And when you go to the field, so that you now become also, you also become someone who does not have any powers. There's no any powers around you that you use as against the other, opponent.
But the law is that you cannot take any armed police or protection to the polling unit on the day of the election.
You are talking about it. We are speaking like as if you are in a... Are we not here? We see ADCs, the AD camps of the serving governors or whatever. In fact, they go there with even convoy, with sarin, intimidating people. So I feel that we should have such a commission that can deal with this issue.
I mean, that those who will say, look, you and your party and the rest of you are just afraid of Soludo.
No, why should I look?
That his popularity, you see, his campaign,
and
how people are trooping out for him, and that your fear is that he's going to beat some of you. And that's what you're worried
Let me
about.
tell you today, if Soludo is not in power, if he's not in power, with the present record of his performance in Anambra, if he's not in power and he's not using the power of incumbency, he cannot beat the YPP candidate.
Really? Who is the YPP candidate?
You don't know?
I'm asking.
Paul Chukwuma.
Oh. And he's more popular than
Go to Anambra,
Soludo.
just go and see. We have been campaigning down to the grassroots. Down to the grassroots, all the 12 local governments. Look, if we want to be serious in this country, I think we should take some very painstaking decision. Because we need to come with a very reformative ideas that will give this country a more befitting kind of electoral process. Otherwise, we will just be going around one cycle.
You petition Governor Soludo to the IG and also to INEC.
Yeah.
What are your intentions? What are you aiming to achieve?
Well, my intention now is, number one, I know that obviously he's enjoying immunity, and maybe, possibly, he might not actually...
it cannot be prosecuted.
It cannot be prosecuted at the moment, and that's the reason why I'm calling for this GCC commission, Governance Caretaker Commission.
Which cannot happen now.
Well, it can't happen now, but I'm saying if we are serious in our country...
Does this letter you have written, is this more valuable than a tissue paper, a toilet tissue paper, in terms of the real essence of it, beyond the fact that you have raised an allegation, but in the reality, what is its value?
Well,
if mean anything?
If it has no value, maybe you wouldn't have called my attention to come and throw more light on it.
I'm saying that in reality, you may have a valid argument.
Yes.
But in reality, you have said...
Posterity is going
so you raise this for posterity. You know nothing can happen, right?
Maybe because of the system, but in a system where... And one of the constraints is the fact that governors enjoy immunity. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you that if it were to be a YPP candidate or any other candidate that had made such comment, by now, they would have used that against the candidates. I tell you, maybe by now, maybe they would have been going to see our candidate maybe in the cell or somewhere, defending himself of why he made such utterances. So, but, however, I think one of the reasons why we also put this petition forward was to call the attention of the INEC chairman, the new INEC chairman. This could be a litmus test for him, that he should also caution his presiding officer, that is the POs in the polling unit, with the security agency. And the reason why we also petitioned the IG is to also, for the IG, to also call, on his security, personnel, to do justice to this. They must be in their satellite in the forthcoming election in Anambra, where they must ensure there is nothing like vote buying in that election. And I can assure you that without vote buying, there is no way a Soludo can return to power.
Give me a moment. Who is afraid of Soludo? YPP, Paul Chukwuma, or who else? They are alleging vote buying. Is Chukwuma Soludo really inducing voters in Anambra State ahead of the governorship election? This is the allegation, or the allegations being raised by the YPP and its leadership. We'll be right back to wrap this up after this break. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Comrade Bishop Amakiri is the national chairman of the YPP, and the party alleging that ABGA and Governor Soludo are involved in vote buying and inducement of voters towards the governorship election in Anambra State on the 8th of November. Bishop Amakiri, so that we can wrap up this conversation. You look at it, there are those who say, no matter what, it does look like Soludo is coasting home and he might just win this election. But the man does not seem given. You said you heard him. Maybe there will be a change of mind.
Change of mind where? When he has... you see, when people work with the mindset of people, I think they have continued to take advantage of some of the citizens, especially those who go to vote. The strategy has been working for them, the inducement strategy, vote buying. It's been working for them. For example, and I'll give you an example. The by-election that took place August 16, I was in Anambra. I spent almost 2 weeks, right? And all our agents in the polling units were received after the election all the reports. Most of them, about 85–90% of them, their complaints were there were massive vote buying and intimidation. So how do you call that one a victory for somebody who muzzled his way into power? You call it a victory? So the people, and most times the people continue to tell you Nigerians are hungry and there is hunger in the land. And that's the reason why people cannot actually, reject the 5,000 or 10,000 naira, 20,000 naira, whatever you call it, to cast their vote for president. See, look, until we begin. See, I think we need to empower the POs in the polling units in conjunction with the security agencies that are attached to these presiding officers. That if there is any situation like that where a report is made by the security personnel attached to them in that polling unit, where they find somebody buying vote or selling vote, that vote should be cancelled.
So what would you now do? What options do you have available to you now?
Well, we have raised the alarm, and then I think that the security agencies also should take this serious, because we're talking about our country. It's not just about a YPP. Yeah, okay. So we have raised the alarm, and we are in, by the grace of God, we're in the race, firm, and we know that we're going to coast to victory. We're going to win that election.
Bishop,
forget about whatever inducements the solution.
Bishop Amakiri is the national
performance is there. He has not performed.
Thank you so much indeed for your time tonight. That's our show for today, everyone. Many thanks for watching. I'm Sean Wakimale. God bless. Thank you.